All right, people, you asked for it. We're gonna make homemade cavatelli. It's very easy and it's fun to do with your kids or your spouse or even by yourself. Super, super easy. All you need is some flour. This is all-purpose flour. If you have semolina flour, that's even better. I like to use half and half. We need some olive oil, some salt. I like kosher salt. And I use ricotta cheese. One of my sons has an egg allergy, so I don't make egg pasta. We're using ricotta cheese in its place, and it makes a really nice cavatelli. So, the recipe is really easy. 1 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. If you have pasta flour, that works too. I like to mix in 1 cup of semolina flour, which is a true pasta flour. You don't have to worry about leveling it out. We're just roughing it out here. So 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of semolina flour. We're going to put in a half a teaspoon of salt. I use kosher salt. I like the texture. We're going to put in a tablespoon of olive oil. And for this recipe, we're going to do a half a pound of ricotta. This is 15 ounces, so that's almost a pound. We'll do about half of this. That looks like about half. And we're going to put in just a little milk, about 1/8 of a cup. So it's 2 cups of flour, half a pound of ricotta, half a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of olive oil, and 1/8 of a cup of milk. And all you have to do is start mixing this up. Easy breezy. It's going to feel dry at first until you get the wet ingredients mixed in, especially the ricotta, which is pretty much your wet ingredient here. And after about a minute of stirring it up, it's going to start to come together. And then, on a nice clean counter, you can actually just dump it right out. Still looks a little dry, but once we get our hands into it, we can start putting it together. Now, just start kneading it, working it together. It's still a little crumbly, but I can feel the moisture of the ricotta in there. Feels a little sticky on my hands, which is good, but not too sticky. And we're just going to work this for a couple of minutes. You don't want to overdo it, because you don't want to activate the gluten. We're not making a pastry. We're trying to make pasta, and we don't want it to be tough. So you see how it's coming together? It's making a nice ball of dough. If it feels a little dry, this is starting to get a little dry on me. I'll just put a drop of milk. On top. And we'll mix that in. So you want it to be a nice soft consistency. You don't want it to be hard and dry. You don't want it to be sticky. Somewhere in the middle. You can get your kids to do this. My kids like doing this. We've been making this for years, and both my boys can do this on their own. All right, it's coming together. Now we're just going to knead this for a couple minutes until it smooths out. So you can see all the flour, all the semolina has been picked up into the ball. It's not sticking to the counter at all. And it's becoming nice and smooth. Almost there. Sort of push it with the heel of your hand and roll it back. And once it gets this nice, smooth consistency, it's good. It's ready to go. So we're going to leave that there and put a little flour on it and on the counter so it doesn't stick. And we'll just let that rest for a couple of minutes. While that's resting, we'll make some sauce. We're gonna make our cavatelli tonight with Broccoli Rabe, which is really good. Italian broccoli. So we're just gonna smash up a couple of cloves of garlic. We don't need to chop the garlic. We want to leave it whole or in large chunks so people can take it out if they're not garlic fans, but we'll still get the flavor. Once the pan gets warm, grab our olive oil. Just cover the bottom of the pan in nice extra virgin olive oil. Throw your garlic in. Let that warm up a little bit. Looking good. Coming along. Up. So this is our broccoli rabe. I cut it into small bite-sized pieces. You don't want it to be too long because it tends to get stringy, sort of like asparagus. So cut the ends off, cut them into small bite-sized pieces. Give it a good rinse. Make sure it's nice and wet. We have our garlic sizzling in here. We don't want to burn the garlic, definitely. We want to get the oil. Give the oil a nice garlic flavor. That should be good. So we'll grab this broccoli rabe. It's wet, so it's going to sizzle. Just throw it right in the pan. Make sure it all gets in there. Cover it up. Easy. Now we'll go back to our pasta. So this feels great. I'm going to cut this into 4 pieces so it's manageable. I'll take one to start with. A little more flour on the counter so it doesn't stick. We'll make this one into a little ball. And we're just going to roll it out. I'll roll it out fairly thick to maybe a 1/2 inch or so. 1/3 of an inch. And then just cut it into strips. About the same size. So this is what your strip will look like. Now there are a couple different ways you can make cavatelli. You can simply just turn this into a little roll. And cut it into little pieces. And this is almost more like a gnocchi than a cavatelli. If you want it to be a cavatelli, you can take your fork, take a fork, the back of the fork, and just roll it. And there you have the cavatelli shape with the stripes in it. Do a little curl. And that's how you do that by hand. Those are easy. We'll get all of our strips done first. The broccoli rabe is smelling really good. All right, let's check out our broccoli rabe. Top of the pan's nice and hot, so we know it's steaming well. We're gonna throw in right now a couple pinches of kosher salt and a little red pepper, depending on how hot you like it, just for a little spice. Cover that up again. We're going to turn that down low and let it simmer. That's looking good. Now you can continue on making these with a fork if you'd like. You can leave them whole as little gnocchis, or you can do what I do. And I'll show you that right now. This is my little cavatelli machine. You can just throw them right into this cavatelli maker. And these come out perfect from the machine. So I'm going to continue cranking these out. So this is faster. I can do it without losing my phone. More of these to go, so hang in there. These look beautiful, delicious. This is a great little machine from Italy. I think you get the idea. I'm going to boil some water. We'll cook up these cavatelli, and when they're ready, I'll come back and show you how to put it all. Okay, we're back. It's been about 15 minutes. I boiled the pasta. The broccoli rabe is looking good. What we need in there, though, is a little sauce. So I'm going to teach you how to do that really easily. Some people would use maybe chicken broth. What we're gonna do is just take some of this pasta water and throw that in there, a scoop or two, with the cavatelli, with the broccoli rabe, and then we're gonna throw some pecorino romano cheese in there. That will thicken it up, give it a nice little cheese flavor. You can see how that's looking. And as another trick, we're going to grab a mug. We're going to save some of this pasta water. Because if the pasta gets dry, we don't have enough sauce later on. We'll go right back to that pasta water. Toss these right in the pan. Broccoli rabe. Up. Add a little more cheese. I forgot to mention earlier, you have to have a glass of wine when you cook. It makes everything better. So this is our final product here. Looks fantastic. It smells amazing. We'll put a little more cheese on top. How good does that look? That's going to be tasty. All right, guys, thanks for joining. Do this with your family. It's a lot of fun while we're locked in under quarantine. Super easy, super delicious, and lots of fun. See you later.